is the Live It plan. And so probably one of the more important things for you to know is that our food plan, which is what most people want to know about, is what is the food plan? And we follow the USDA food plan, which right now is called Choose My Plate. It used to be called My Food Pyramid. You may have known it was called My Food Pyramid for a long time, but it's been Choose My Plate a long time now too. But I can, some of us are younger and older, it just depends on how old you are, but it was the pyramid for a long time. So it really focuses on eating a healthy quantity of fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean meats, dairy, some calcium-rich foods, and some healthy oils. And so one of the things that will help you figure out in your first week is what is your calorie range, based on how old you are, what your gender is, women, man, how old you are, really depends. And then how far away from your goal weight are you? One of the things that I like to remind people is we all know how to starve and lose weight. It seems like maybe we learned that at a very young age, how to starve ourselves. And that's really not what this is about. If you remember, it's a Live It plan. We really want you to lose no more than 2 pounds a week. Now, a lot of times, and Dominic's here, guys could lose a little more than that because they do. But for women, for sure, 2 pounds. But you might lose 4 or 5 pounds your first week. Sometimes people do. It just depends on how out of control you were before you started. But mostly for me, if you remember, it took me 4 years to lose 116 pounds. The first year I lost 35 pounds, and then the remainder I averaged like 30 pounds a year, or a half a pound a week. It didn't work that way. It wasn't like every week I lost a half a pound. I don't want you guys to think that. That's just not how it worked. It was like lost 2 pounds, didn't lose anything for weeks, then maybe gained a pound, and then lost 2 pounds. It was just, that was more my journey, but always kind of like on that downward slope, a little bit at a time. And really that 4-year period and spending time with God and digging into my emotions was really helping me maintain. That was the thing that I had never learned, how to just lose slowly and keep it off. And that's what our goal is. In my groups, I've had people that have lost 100 pounds in a year. So it happens. Didn't happen to me, but I have people in my groups that have lost 100 pounds in a year. But anything more than 2 pounds, we're going to be looking at you. Of course, if you lost a half a pound in every year, every week, or average, and you lost 25 pounds at the end of the year, most people would not be unhappy with that. And then the next year you had 50 pounds off. So it's slow, but it stays off. So that's good. So it really is up to you in how you determine how you got it. Dominic is in our new men's only group, and his leader, Ken, has lost like 60 pounds over it and maintained it for quite a long time. And it was through first place that he lost the weight. And so it really is, everybody has their own journey. And I think for some of us, if you've been here and you're back, it's because you know it works and you left and you're like, why did I ever leave? Because I gained the weight back. And that's where I am, would be. That's why I'm a lifer for sure. So, all right, let me just quickly, I'm going to share my screen again. And I just want to show you what my Live It tracker looks like, just to give you a sense of that. Is our tracker is where you figure it out. Now, where I am right now, I'm a 60-year-old woman, and I exercise 4 or 5 times a week, and so I eat the 15 to 1600 calories. And this is for me to maintain my weight. If I wanted to lose weight, I would have to go down to that 13 to 1400 calories, or increase my exercise even more. But I think 5 to 6 days a week is plenty, personally. And so what this looks like is, I know it's hard to read this, but it's 1.5 to 2 cups of fruit, 2 to 2.5 cups of vegetables, and I have it transferred down here. 5 to 6 ounces of grains, 3 cups of dairy. It says 2 to 3. I go down this way a little bit. Protein is 5 ounces, and then 5 teaspoons of healthy oils. And so what I wanted to show you here, this is what my tick marks look like. This is how I like, every tick mark is a half a cup or an ounce. So if you look at my thing, I had a papaya for breakfast. I know it's messy. This is real, guys. I just want you to see. Papaya, oatmeal, yogurt, almond milk, and an egg white. That creates, like, I create a little oatmeal souffle kind of in my in the microwave, and then add papaya to it. And that was, so I would have counted that as my papaya would have, it depends how big it was either going to be 1 or 2 tick marks. And then the oatmeal is 2 tick marks because it qualifies as 2 ounces of grain. And then the almond milk would have be counted as dairy. But if you see right here, have this 0.5, I added a half of an ounce of protein because our nutritionist says if you replace cow's milk with almond milk, you have to add protein. You have to have more protein because there's not enough protein in almond milk. All right. And it also, that half could be the egg white. Like, an egg white is not really a whole protein. So I want to get credit for it. So that just gives you an idea of what it is. And then, so I have it all written here, my activity. I did 8,850 steps that day. I did 40 minutes of walking. SOAP is something that we, at my church, it's called Scripture, Observation, Application, Prayer. So that was my day. So if I soap, I'm soaping my Bible verses. So this just gives you, I try and show people I'm kind of messy. So it's not like every little thing. Like, this just says I had falafel and a pita. There's a Lebanese guy that is all vegetarian. So this is Saturday that I got at the farmer's market. And so I really wanted to show you more on just how I do my little tick marks. And so at the end of this day, I'm saying here, I had 1.5 cups of fruit. So I had a good day. I had enough fruit. This one, I had 1.5 cups of vegetables. I didn't have enough vegetables that day. I should have had more. This shows 5 ounces of grain. So I was within my grains. This says 4.5 protein. So I was pretty close. This is, each of these is a half a cup, so that's 2 cups of dairy. And I probably did have oil, but I just didn't track it, if that makes sense. So I just wanted, you're gonna learn more about this in week 1 and 2 of your meetings, but I wanted to give you a sense of what it looks like, how does it feel. It can, you don't have to be perfect. You can tell for me, I'm not perfect. If you looked at all, I had a protein bar for dinner that first day because who knows what was going on in my life when I wrote that. It's just, this is what I did. So it's what you really eat. That's what you want to track. You want to be mindful. You want to be aware of what you're putting in your body. And so that's what we call our Live It plan. This is called our Live It tracker. In the first week, your leader will give you some instruction. If you're in my group, I'm going to say, I want you to use the paper tracker for the first 2 weeks. And really is for me to be able to see if you understand what you're doing. Do you know it? A lot of my people like to use MyFitnessPal, which is great. But one of the things about MyFitnessPal is it's very calorie oriented, and you don't really know that how many vegetables, how many fruits, how many dairies, did I eat too many grains? And so what I would tell you to do is, okay, you don't have to fill in the blanks of the tracker because all that is in MyFitnessPal. But I would want you to do those little tick marks. Like, okay, look at your day, and at the end of the day, figure out how many fruits, how many vegetables. Does that make sense? I want you to learn how to be aware of, are you eating a balanced meal? I lost almost all my weight not counting 1 calorie, just counting how many fruits and vegetables there were. So I can honestly say it works. This plan is set, that you get about the right amount of calories if you eat the right amount of fruits and vegetables and grains and stuff. So